Everybody kept saying, but you're going to die before you get the money because there's nobody to rent these units. Okay, so here was my challenge. My challenge was I knew I was going to win, but I had to find a way to find 10 renters in the middle of the worst real estate recession of all time.
On the level of scale that you have. So we're talking about single family, and at the time that you're buying this during a recession, you're looking at the data, you're looking at the construction costs, you're looking at the COGS, you're putting on your multiple hats that you've had over time, which I think is fascinating. And Neal, the question I have for you, if I'm in your, in your ecosystem and in your inner circle, I say, hey, Neal, but are you going to make money next month when you buy these? And what
That's
would be
the key
answer?
question, right?
Yeah.
That was the key question. So everybody kept saying, but you're going to die before you get the money because there's nobody to rent these units. Okay, so here was my challenge. My challenge was I knew I was going to win, but I had to find a way to find 10 renters in the middle of the worst real estate recession of all time, right? So I knew there was just a single challenge between me and a very large amount of money, right? By the way, I still own all 13 of them and rents have doubled, right? So obviously you can imagine how much money I'm making on these. So I go to Madeira, right? And I talk with the builders there. It's clear to me that nobody can ever build for anywhere close to what I'm buying it for. And so I go to a property manager, and the property manager says, okay, here's the problem, right? It's the middle of the recession. Madeira usually does well in a recession. It's not doing well this time. Madeira is about 144 miles from the Bay Area, right? So I'm driving there. And they're like, all the jobs are in Fresno. It's like, how far is Fresno? Well, Fresno is another 21 miles, right? That's where all the jobs are. Nobody wants to come live here. So I'm like, okay, so what you're telling me is, if I was able to buy 10 of these brand new, gorgeous, units and convince 10 people that are currently looking in Fresno to come and live here, then I could make a huge amount of money. And they're like, yes, you'd be like super rich if you did that. And I'm like, okay, I have an idea. So on this, I get back into my car and I drive another 21 miles south to Fresno. And I go to a broker's, place, and I say, okay, I have a plan. It's a completely insane plan, completely insane, but please listen to me, okay? I want you to go to a bank and put 10 properties in Madeira in contract, okay? But don't buy them, just put them in contract, okay? And I want you to go and tell the bank that we're gonna be showing these properties to potential tenants before I purchase them, and I need some access. And normally a bank would be like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? Go away, right? But it was 2009. Banks loved people like me, right? Because banks had 1,000 properties on a single part of Madeira. There were 5,000 empty brand new properties in Madeira. So the bank is like, this guy is crazy, but is he willing to put down a deposit? Yes, here's $30,000 deposit for these 10 properties. I need to be able to show these properties to people. And they're like, okay, all right. So I go back to the Fresno broker and I say, I want to buy one property in Fresno. Okay, and it needs to be an older property, cash flowing. I want it to be really cheap, but it needs to be a property that rents very quickly. Like in one day, I should be able to rent it. I don't care about how much money it makes. He's like, okay, here on Summerfield Drive, there's this property. It's 4-bedroom. It's built in 1994. I can tell you, you'd rent it in a day. Okay, so we go buy that property. 10 days later, I own that property. 11 days later, that property is rented. So I'm not losing money on that property anymore.
Thanks for watching another segment brought to you by my team at Invested Talent. Now, if you would like similar content for your brand repurposed, make sure you text us repurpose at 678-679-5613. That's repurpose at 678-679-5613, and my team will make sure that we give you the blueprint so that you can repurpose your content and amplify your message on social media. We'll see you on the other side.